Okay, I will go again now. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kim Miller, and I work for St. Louis Community College. And we are here today to talk a little bit of an overview about St. Louis Community College. First thing I wanted to do was congratulate all of you for being part of the wonderful program that's being offered through St. Louis Youth Jobs. Today, our program is going to be a little bit overarching because I know within the St. Louis Youth Jobs program, there are folks from 14 through 24. So I'm going to cover some information on things that are available to high schoolers, our credit programs, and then really focus in on the workforce training that's offered through St. Louis Community College. So I'm going to turn myself off and I'm going to turn my PowerPoint on. So hopefully that technology will work and we'll go ahead and get started. If you have questions along the way, I ask that you put them out in the chat and we can address all of those at the end. So let's go. All right, hopefully I will be sharing my screen now so that everyone can see it. And we will go ahead and get started. Oops, show from the beginning. Here we go. Again, hello to everyone from St. Louis Youth Jobs. I am Kim Miller from St. Louis Community College, as we've already covered. So we're going to go through the programs that we have available. So first, just to give you a little history lesson, I know that's probably not what folks want on the when they're off during the summer months, but St. Louis Community College has been serving our area for 62 years. We've served over, what happened there? We have served over 1.2 million students. We have 80 plus associate degrees and certificate programs. Goodness, technology. We have a diverse student population. 43% of our students are age 18 to 21. 56 are 21 and above, and we have 1 out of 34 jobs in the St. Louis areas are being powered by St. Louis Community College. We have 4 campuses, as well as we have, oh my goodness, this is going to be a great, crazy fly through here. We have 4 main campuses, 3 satellite centers, and we have what's called a new pathway model. So now it wanted to skip, now it doesn't want to, so we're going to go here. We also offer transfer. St. Louis Community College is currently $122 per credit hour. Our staff to class ratio is 1 to 22. And we have multiple modalities for our training programs. So I'm going to attempt to make this stop. Oh my goodness. So we have multiple learning options. We have continuing education, which are classes that are more for fun, things like pickleball, things that are less than a week in. Oh my gosh, we're going to back out of here for a second. I apologize. Talking about technology, this is a technology nightmare. So we're going to go to a different view. That way I can control these slides. So hold on one second. All right, so we're going to go to the old, here's the stuff on the right view. So we have continuing education. Our continuing education programs are programs that are just either for professional development or for fun. So those are quick accelerated classes, could be things like pickleball, could be things like art, could be things like learning Excel. So all different opportunities. We have accelerated job training, which is 9 to 24 weeks in length. And those accelerated job training programs are designed for quick entry into the workforce, into careers where there's a really sustainable wage. We have certificates of specialization and proficiency, as well as our associate degree. And how I explain the difference between a certificate of specialization and proficiency versus an associate degree, say I'm interested in being an auto technician and I come to St. Louis Community College. If I get a certificate of proficiency or specialization, I'm doing auto tech all the time. So all of my classes revolve around what I want to do as a career. If I want to do an associate degree, I can also do that in auto tech, but I would have to do those general education classes like the English, the history, and the things that go along with it. So with the community college, multiple different opportunities for our students to learn in different modalities. We also have multiple ways to learn. We have the live virtual lecture, and that's where you go into the classroom and you are sitting in front of your instructor. We have hybrid meaning that part of your time you're in the classroom and the other part of the time you're online. Online is just that, fully online. You're given your assignments online. You do all of your work online. And then the most recent one we have added is the High Flex. And I wish when I was in college, the High Flex would have been an opportunity. The High Flex is you can either be in class in person or you can be online. So same class, either in person or online. So I go out this morning, I have a flat tire, I'm not going to make it to class on time. I simply go back in the house, turn on my computer, and I'm in class through an online class platform. So high flex, in class or online, either one's available to the students in that program. For anyone who has joined us today who is still in high school, there are some great opportunities for you through dual enrollment and dual credit. Dual enrollment would mean that you are enrolled at St. Louis Community College. So you actually are a high school student who would be taking classes at St. Louis Community College. That can be done your junior and senior year. We do have some students who actually graduate from high school and with their associate degree at the same time. So dual enrollment, the difference being there that you're actually on the St. Louis Community College campus. Dual credit is credits that are done through your high school. So you would take a class that is dual credit through your high school and get college credit for it. So thinking about your instructor is teaching English 101 through your high school. English 101 would count as English at St. Louis Community College. It would also count as English at any Missouri state school. So the opportunity for you to do some of the dual enrollment and dual credit while you're in high school to get those credits before you actually venture out into the college scene. A+ program is also an opportunity that's available to high school students. It does require a certain GPA as well as some community service hours. Students who complete the A+ program are given 2 free years at a community college. So those first 2 years at a community college could be paid for through the A+ funding. You could either complete a degree or you could do your prerequisites at the community college and then from there move on to a 4-year university without that debt from the first 2 years. When I'm talking about the opportunity to move to a 4-year institution with credits, there's a program called Core 42. The Core 42 includes community colleges in the St. Louis area as well as Missouri state schools. So if I took English at my high school or I took English at St. Louis Community College, that was part of the Core 42 program, and I transferred to Mizzou, that's going to be a direct transfer for you. So any Missouri state schools, Mizzou, UMSL, SEMO, Missouri State, those are direct transfers directly into the college. If you are going out of state or to a private institution, you're going to want to ask that question, will my program or will my dual credit from St. Louis Community College transfer to your institution? So great opportunities to get some college credits out of the way while you're in high school. That way you can focus on your career or your desired career once you do get into college. St. Louis Community College has recently gone to a model called Pathways. Our Pathways models groups are programs into 6 different groupings. And we'll talk a little bit about each of these. But if you look in our Pathways now, for example, under STEM or the science, technology, engineering, and math, you're going to see some programs that fall into all those categories. So you're going to see some programs that are accelerated job training, that 2 to 24 week. You're going to see some certificates. You're going to see some associate degrees. By putting these all together, gives our student a full glimpse of what St. Louis Community College has to offer, but also could provide you with some stepping stones. And we'll talk a little bit about how those stepping stones could work as we go through the presentation. So the first section we have asks the question, do you enjoy solving problems? Are you curious about the natural world? Do you have any interest in puzzles or technology? And if you answer yes to any of these questions, maybe STEM is the career choice for you. So when we're talking about STEM, we're talking about science, technology, engineering, and math. So on your screen, and we will be out at a couple of the events that are being hosted through the St. Louis Youth Jobs in the month of July, so we'll have materials for you also, are things like biotechnology, horticulture. We have a new cannabis and hemp program, as well as life science lab assistant. And then we also have a lot of different programs that are in the IT field. We do have, the certificates as well as the associate degrees. Some of those that most people recognize, the cybersecurity, web developer, also the networking engineer. But there's also some of the things where you can just learn a certain skill like CompTIA or CompTIA A+, where you can actually go out into the workforce, start your career, and then continue your education with St. Louis Community College or another institution. So here comes another question. Would you like a career helping others? Is teaching a path that you'd thought about? What about helping others in the community or those with addiction? Well, education, public and social services could be for you. So underneath this spectrum, we have education. So we have what's called the Teacher Education Program Exchange. So what that is doing your prerequisites at St. Louis Community College to move on to a four-year institution to become a teacher. We also have a child and family development program, and that would be teaching children in a daycare setting or early childhood education center. We also have some areas of public service. Some folks like to go back and serve the communities. That could be done through behavioral health support, addiction studies, a community healthcare worker, or again, at the community college, you could complete those prerequisites and move on to obtain your four-year degree. We also have programs under legal, like a paralegal. And then some folks will come here to start their criminal justice career. We have students who are interested in going into law enforcement. Most know that law enforcement, you can't get into the system until you're age 21. So they'll start some of those criminal justice programs or complete a criminal justice associate degree before they either transfer to a four-year institution or go on to the police academy. Big one in the St. Louis area is the need for healthcare. Do you want to work in the healthcare field? Do you enjoy helping others? How do you do on the front lines in a time of crisis? If these are things that are of interest to you, then perhaps a career in healthcare is a profession for you. A lot of times people, when they think about healthcare, they think about nursing. You know, I'm going to go into nursing. That's exactly what I want to do. And for a lot of people, that is the career choice. St. Louis Community College offers the RN program as well as the LPN program. So we have two different programs in our nursing field for direct care. But sometimes folks don't think outside of the box of what goes on in a hospital system that requires help. We have a program in respiratory care. Respiratory care became really big during the COVID time with the lack of respiratory care professionals. And one exciting note for St. Louis Community College is we just recently got approved to do a bachelor's degree at the community college level in respiratory care. So our students can complete their associate and or their bachelor's degree at the community college, and also the cost of a community college. First responder, somebody who's, you know, into life-saving, wants to be there, wants to be that person. St. Louis Community College has a paramedic program as well as an EMT program. Our EMT program is just 2 classes and can be completed in 1 semester. A pathway for the paramedic technology program is also to get into the fire department. So thinking about being a first responder. We also have physical and occupational therapy assistant programs. We also offer a dental hygiene clinic that's on our Forest Park campus and will soon be coming to our Florissant Valley campus. So thinking about your dental visit, the dental hygienist who helps you during that time frame, we have that program at the community college. Some of the lab programs we have a surgical technology program, the person who works behind the staff in the surgery room, as well as a clinical laboratory technician. Some people think, well, I want to work in the hospital, but I want to work behind the scenes, and that clinical lab tech is a great position. We also have things that are in health information, like health information management or clinical coding, diagnostics, radiology technology, doing x-rays or sonogram. Most people think about sonograms as when someone is expecting, they do the sonogram of the baby, but sonograms are used throughout every hospital in the St. Louis area for much more. We also have a program in funeral services that works directly with the funeral homes in the area that helps folks during that time frame, as well as doing the embalmment, and that goes with the funeral services. And then we also have advanced job training. We'll talk a little bit more about these, but we have partners with programs in St. Louis, or hospitals in St. Louis area, where our students actually go to work for the hospital on the very first day of their medical assistant or their patient care tech program, and they're being paid for their training. So medical assistant is that person when you first walk into the doctor's office, the person who takes your vitals and gets all your information. And then a patient care tech is the person who works in the hospital system alongside of the nurses. They also are the ones who, you know, do the majority of your care while you're in the hospital setting. These 2 particular programs are partnered with BJC, SSM, and St. Luke's. So again, like I said, it's not only moving into a career, it's actually employment and being paid for the training during the time that you're in the program. Do you enjoy building things or fixing things? Some people prefer to work with their hands. If you answered yes to any of these, maybe advanced manufacturing, industrial occupations, or transportation are the course for you. So in transportation, we have some programs. We have automotive technology. Like I said before, this would be working with, you know, fixing autos. You can do a certificate program here, again, where you're doing auto tech all the time, as well as the associate degree. We also have that option in our diesel tech program. We also offer professional truck driving, and we have the CDLA as well as the CDLB. CDLA being big rigs, CDLB being smaller trucks. The ones that I see out on the road almost every morning are the MoDOT trucks. Those are the CDLB. CDLA, you do have to be 21 to complete that program. CDLB, you can be 18. We also have just a certificate on vehicle inspection and light maintenance for somebody who maybe wants to tinker in the field or is thinking about a job in the automotive industry. We also have some maintenance type programs. We have HVAC operator, so the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. We have a biomedical electronics technology program. These are the folks who are behind the scenes fixing all the equipment that are used in the hospital setting. We have an industrial maintenance program as well as a general maintenance program. We also have a couple programs in environmental technology. So hazardous materials technician. Those are the individuals who are behind the scenes cleaning up hazards, whether that be mold, asbestos, one of the, oil spill, whatever it might be. Those are the folks who are trained in this area, as well as folks who can do hazardous material pickup in a vehicle. Some of the skill trainings, the programs that we have, and again, we'll talk a little bit more in depth about these in a moment. We do have a partnership with Boeing where our students can do a pre-employment training. Upon completion of that program, if they pass, they are guaranteed an interview with Boeing. We have welding, we have CAD, we have precision machining. We also have computer integrated manufacturing. So all kinds of good things in that manufacturing and transportation model also. We have some folks that are artsy. Are you interested in art? Are you interested in communication? Have you ever thought about deaf communication? Somebody who does sign language or interprets for other folks. What about photography? We have programs at St. Louis Community College in these areas also. We have the deaf communication studies. We also have the communication prerequisites where you can come to St. Louis Community College and complete your prerequisites if you're interested in going into marketing, public relations, those types of career fields. We do have graphic design, photography, interior design, also available through our arts and design. And then we also have some liberal arts that will transfer to four-year institutions. Some degrees, you can get a job with an associate degree, but some different careers do require a bachelor's degree. And that's where those general transfer study degrees come in, where you complete your prerequisites at St. Louis Community College and then move on to your four-year institution. Do you like working with numbers? What about compliance? Maybe business is for you. Are you a cook, a baker? Do you like to plan events? Have you ever thought about culinary or hospitality? So accounting, obviously we have accounting, business administration available through our accounting and business areas. We are the premier provider for culinary arts in the area. So we have culinary arts as well as baking and pastry. And we do have some students who will do both of those programs. So they have the skills to work in the kitchen as well as the skills to do the baking and pastry behind the scenes. We also have a program in hospitality. So thinking about hospitality, a lot of people think about that as someone who works as a hospitality manager within a hotel system. True, they could be doing that, but they also could be doing a travel planning, working for one of the, like working for the Arch or one of the sites in the St. Louis area, doing some of that travel planning. All right, so before I go on, I do see that we have one question in the chat. I will address that before we go on a little bit more into our workforce training program. So since I'm not in presentation mode, so the question is, will you have the digital marketing analyst program sometime in the future? So we used to have a digital marketing analyst program through our accelerated job training. They are currently looking for partnership for that. So hopefully, Xavier, we will have that back within the next 12 months. Hopefully that answered that question. All right. I'm going to take a breath. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning, my name is Kim Miller and I talk quickly. So a lot of times people will call me Camilla. So that's when I need to stop and take a breath and think about where we're going next. So we're going to talk a little bit more about our workforce, our accelerated job training programs. Again, 2 to 24 weeks in length, designed to get you into the workforce quickly. A lot of these programs do have funding, scholarships, and grants available, so they do come at no cost to a student. So let's talk about the first programs here. Oops. All right. So we do have the partnership with Boeing. It's the Boeing Pre-Employment Training Program. So how this program works is we have a program called the Sheet Metal and Riveter program. So you can visualize a military grade aircraft. So the folks who come through this program would actually be the ones who do the sheet metal that makes up a military grade aircraft. This particular program is a 208-hour program. Our students who do the class during the day, it takes 5 weeks to complete. If they do the program in the evening, it takes 8 weeks to complete. If the student has completed the program with a 75% or higher, they are guaranteed an interview with Boeing. Doesn't guarantee employment, but it does guarantee an interview with Boeing. Most of the students who make it that far with Boeing are hired by Boeing unless something would happen in the interview process or in the background check. Boeing does start our students at $21 per hour. And then you think about Boeing as an employer. Boeing will start you on your very first day with benefits. And then after 30 days, they will pay your full tuition. I worked an event with a gentleman from Pattonville probably a month ago. And he told the story about how on Sunday he was scooping ice cream. On Monday, he was building fighter jets. And so through that program, through Boeing, he has now been promoted twice. In last month, he completed his bachelor's degree in engineering from Missouri S&T, all being paid for by Boeing. So thinking about the opportunity with Boeing as the second largest employer in the St. Louis area. We also have a composite mechanic program. This one's a little bit shorter. It's 3 weeks if you do it during the day, 4 weeks in the evening. This particular program is doing composites. So if you think about layer after layer of composite material that is put together for durability, it's a lightweight product, but very durable, and it makes up the wings and the nose of a commercial aircraft. Same rule applies here. If you pass with a 75% or higher, guaranteed an interview with Boeing. Boeing starts these students also at $21 per hour with the opportunity for benefits on the first day, as well as tuition assistance after 30 days. We also have a certified welding program. Our welding program has 4 different levels. We have the entry-level welder all the way up to the boilermaker or the pipeliner welder. Each class or each section is 120 hours, and you learn all the welding symbols, all the different things that you need to do, the different types of welding in order to in those programs. So the average starting wage for a welder is $37,000 to $44,000. But if welding is a career that you're interested in, I can encourage you to look a little bit further into that and how you're, by advancing your skills, you can continue to grow your income. We had a student who graduated not long ago and out of the Boilermaker program, she went to work for the union in St. Louis, making $50 an hour to start. So opportunities for growth are there. But the great thing about the workforce programs is they're offered day and evening. So if we have a student who comes to us and does entry-level welding, is able to get a job, they can come back and continue to upskill in the evening so that they can continue to gain additional skills and hopefully move into a new role or an advancement within the organization they're in. We also have an HVAC program, which is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So right now that air conditioning piece is really important to all of us because it's a little warm out. So this is an entry-level program for residential HVAC. So these would be folks who are working in our homes. So if our air conditioning units go out, these are the folks who would be there to repair it. This particular class is only 60 hours. So during the day, it could actually be completed in 2 weeks. The evening class is a little bit longer because it's spread out. So somebody could come out of this particular program, going to work in the HVAC field, continue to grow their role. But most of them start as an entry-level residential HVAC technician, or some of them will go into an apprenticeship role. We have a general maintenance mechanic program. This program is 348 hours, lasts about 12 weeks. This would prepare somebody for working in maintenance. Could be in a hotel, could be in a school, could be in an office building, all different types of opportunities. If you look up in St. Louis, there's hundreds of jobs for general maintenance mechanics. This particular program does include the blueprint reading, the electrical, the HVAC, the welding. So it's kind of a nice combination class. Our students coming out of this class usually start between $20 and $22 per hour. The last program we offer in this area is industrial maintenance technician. This program is 360 hours. It's available in both day and evening, or you can take some of the classes that are offered and you don't have to take all 4 of them. So it's mechanical, hydraulics, pneumatics, and electrical, all things that I know absolutely nothing about. But if you go into the room where they teach it, it's a bit overwhelming. How I can best describe this particular program is it would prepare you for a job in a manufacturing plant or an assembly plant. So thinking about UPS, all of these different packages are going through the line into different areas, and the mechanics break down. So packages stop, packages aren't getting out, no one is loading them. This would be the mechanic who knows how to work on those bigger, larger pieces of machinery in order to get things up and functioning again. So the start pay here is a little bit higher. Those folks who have this degree usually start between $25 and $28 an hour. I would say probably closer to the $28 per hour as a start. We do have over 1,200 students who have been hired by Boeing through our Boeing pre-employment programs. And one of the great things, and again, I'm not sure of the ages of the folks on the call, is that students can complete the Boeing program the 2nd semester of their senior year in high school. So we have students who complete the program in the evening, the 2nd semester of their senior year of high school, who actually come out of high school and go work directly for Boeing. So great opportunities for those who are looking for that accelerated training or wanting to start somewhere and they can continue to maximize those skills. As mentioned, we also have the CDL-A and B classes. Again, CDL-A, that would be work driving a big rig. The classes are 4 or 5 weeks. You do have to be 21 to complete this program. What we do is there's some requirements that have to be done before the first day. So if anyone is interested in these particular programs, please check out the first day requirements on our webpage. The average CDL-A driver starts above $60,000 per year. CDL-B, again, is a smaller truck driver. Again, thinking about trucks like a dump truck, a MoDOT truck, a garbage truck, a box truck, a concrete truck, some of those smaller trucks. This program you can complete at age 18, and the students coming out of here start around $40,000 per year. So we talked a little bit about how can I skill up or, continue to grow my career. Here's one opportunity that helps with that. We have the CDL-B that also has a hazmat certification. So not only are you able to drive the vehicle, but you're also able to drive a vehicle that has hazardous materials in it. So thinking about gases, different things like that. By having that hazmat certification, it makes you more valuable in the workplace. And so our students who are coming out of that program start about $5,000, $6,000 more. And that hazmat certification is only an additional 2 days to complete in that program. So they start around $46,000. The last program I'm going to talk about, and this is the environmental remediation. Again, as we talked about before, those are the folks who can go in and remediate asbestos, lead, and other hazardous materials. The students coming out of this program do come out with 20 different licenses and certifications. So if that's a program you're interested in, please see our webpage. And here the folks start around $45,760 out of this program also. A lot of our students that come out of here want to travel and want to do things different or do things throughout the United States. So there are companies that hire students to do this remediation all over. They also, provide housing, transportation as they're going to those different locations. So, truck driving could give you an opportunity to explore the world through your career, as well as that environmental remediation program. So I talked a little bit about these earlier, but we have partnerships with BJC on all 3 programs, and then SSM and St. Luke's for our medical assistant and patient care tech. Central sterile processing is the person who is behind the scenes processing all the instruments that are used in a hospital setting. This particular is a 24-week program. You're paid for your training time and as well as the time that you're in the hospital system doing your training. So what these programs do is kind of alleviate that need for a part-time job while you're in school because you're being paid during your training time. Medical assistant, same thing. Medical assistant, again, is the first person you see when you go into the doctor's office. These are 23 to 30 weeks in length. The training is paid for by the hospital partner, as well as you're receiving an hourly wage while you're doing that training. You also would do your clinical time in the hospital system that you're hired by. Patient care tech, again, same thing. You are paid for your 9 to 11 weeks that you're in training by the hospital partner. They're also paying for the training piece. And then you do 12-hour shifts in the hospital setting for your clinicals. All of them do require a commitment. They do vary a little bit, but what I'm talking about is a commitment. So for example, central sterile processing, you do have to sign a commitment after I complete the program, because BJC is paying me not only for the program, but also paying me hourly wage. I have to stay with the hospital system for 1 year. So there is a commitment agreement here. But thinking about these as a stepping stone, as I talked about earlier. So I start as a medical assistant or a patient care tech at BJC. Now BJC has great assistance for my tuition. So I could continue to grow from there. I could go back to school to become an LPN or become that radiology technologist or go into OT. And they would continue to pay for that as I grow my career within that organization. So nice stepping stones for those who are interested, but also alleviating some of the stress because you are receiving an income during that training period. The last one I have to talk about is a community healthcare worker. This is a unique program because community healthcare workers are embedded in not only the hospital systems, they're embedded in communities as well as nonprofits. Some folks who are community healthcare workers are just doing that. They're out in the community connecting with their constituents, making sure they're taking medications, checking blood pressure, going over different things to help them maintain a productive life. Other folks work on a specific area. So it could be somebody who is working with unhealthy behaviors or somebody who's working with addictions. So these folks work directly in those healthcare systems or those nonprofits in the area. This program is a non-credit program. It is a 120-hour hybrid classroom. So part of the class you're online, part of it you're in the classroom, and then there are 60 service learning hours. The bulk of our students do usually get their service learning hours in an institution that they're interested in working in. This program is covered by a grant. It offers a stipend. It also offers any support services and a laptop, whatever is needed for this particular program. Community healthcare worker has a lot of different names when you're looking for jobs. There's health coach, community health advisor, family advocate, family educator, liaison, promoter. So there's a lot of jobs out there and they don't always specifically say community health worker. So for those of you who may not know what career is right for you and you're not even sure what your next step is, St. Louis Community College has 2 different programs that are available to the public to go out and explore careers. First is the Focus 2, ask you a lot of questions about not only your career aspirations, but you personally. What kinds of things are you interested in? And kind of takes the things you may do for fun or your hobbies that you may have into consideration as it's helping you to identify a career area. Career Coach is a little bit different. It does do the same thing. It has an assessment. There's 6 questions, 30 questions, or 60 questions. I always say at least do the 30 questions just so you get some good information back from it. But when you're looking at the Career Coach, it's going to give you some career clusters. So here are some, based upon your answers to the questions that are here, here are some careers that may be of interest to you. Once you look at that career, it's going to tell you what that job requires. It's going to tell you the education that you need to have, as well as it's going to outline for you the earning potential. So as you're looking through there, you'll see things that say a high school diploma. You'll see things that say you need an associate degree or a certificate or a bachelor's degree, all the way up to a doctorate. We've had some students who've done that and thought this is going to be my career path, and either thought of, oh, there's something different that I like here better after I've done this, or they'll sometimes even be, oh my goodness, I didn't realize this was going to require me to go to school for an additional 8 years. So those resources are available, and I'll make sure I get that link to the folks over at St. Louis Youth Jobs. So if you want to go out there and do some exploring through the community college, you're welcome to do that. My last slide here is St. Louis Community College Transformed. If any of you have driven past our campuses, you notice that there's a lot of action going on. $41 million is being sunk into the community college is to update our facilities as well as improve our programming. And so each campus is getting at least 1. The bulk of them are getting 2 new buildings. Our Forest Park is getting a transportation center, where our auto tech, diesel tech, and our truck driving will be in a new location. They also got the health science building a couple of years back that it puts all 14 of those healthcare programs into one building. We at Florissant Valley, which is what is pictured in this slide here. They're getting a health science building, which is the building at the bottom. All of those healthcare programs that are now being offered at Forest Park will be moving to Florissant Valley also, as well as the manufacturing center. So all of those accelerated job trainings like welding, the Boeing program, the HVACs, as well as our engineering programs, our drone piloting programs, our geospatial programs will all be going into a new home. Most of these will be completed in spring of 2025. So you'll see those buildings going up really quickly. At the Merrimack campus, they're getting a new business center with things like entrepreneurship, new business programs, as well as horticulture has become a new area. That's a large growth in the St. Louis area. So our horticulture area is also getting some additional spaces at Merrimack. And then some folks don't even know that we have a location in Wildwood. If you think about going to Six Flags, that's Wildwood is exit 109, which is the exit before Six Flags. And so that started out as a single building campus, probably about 15 years ago, 12 years ago, and now is expanding. So the Wildwood location will also be getting a new health science building, as well as some new emerging technologies. Some cool things that are going on at Florissant Valley and Wildwood also is they're going to be putting up drone netting. So you think about Topgolf and how they have the nets up to keep your golf balls in. Well, the drone netting will help you as you learn to do drone flight to provide a safe space for that to be done. So some really cool things going on. You can become a drone pilot in one class. Those classes are available for students age 16 and above. So some great opportunities for some new technologies coming to the community college also. So that is my last slide, and I apologize for my crazy technology at the beginning of this session. But now I'll open it up to any questions that anyone may have about the program. So I'm going to stop sharing and put myself back on the screen. Oh, I guess I never took myself off because there I am. Any questions? You're welcome to either put those in the chat, or if anybody wants to come off mute, I'd be glad to answer any questions for you. Davion, I'm glad you were able to get in. We saw you relentlessly trying to get in. You need to put that on your resume. Somebody who is driven and doesn't give up because you didn't.
Yeah, we had a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, all good. Courtney, do you have any questions that you came up with from the presentation?
No, I think all these programs sound amazing. Every time we go through this information, I feel like, man, I really wish this was a thing. And folks I talk to now, I really wish this was a thing when I was that age and trying to figure out where to go and get some
I'm older,
training.
So when I took dual credit classes in high school, a lot of times the 4-year would be like, yeah, that's not the same English. You got to take that over. So that core 42 is a key for somebody who's wanting to go on to a 4-year institution, getting those prerequisites done. And who doesn't want to get some things done while you're in high school? So if I do my history in high school, if history is not my thing, so I don't have to take it at St. Louis Community College or any other Missouri State school. And then thinking about, those non-traditional tracks, is Boeing, a place for me where I could go into Boeing working in sheet metal. And if that's not what you want to do your entire life, they don't want you to do that. Neither do we. They would pay for your education as you continue to grow within that organization. So some great opportunities and kind of outside the box thinking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lots of ways to put together a training program and a starting career path.
Absolutely. Well, I will be with you guys on the 10th and the 24th, I believe. Amanda has scheduled me to do some events. I will bring along materials about St. Louis Community College. So I hope to meet some of you in person at those events. I will in the chat put my email address. So if anyone has any questions, you're welcome to reach out to me. If there's anything that St. Louis Community College can help you with along your adventure, please let us know.
Fantastic. Yep, those will be our mock interview events. So it looks like I think we'll see our summer work experience and our CAP participants on the 10th, July 10th, and our Discover You participants on July 24th. And we will be glad to see you there, Kim.
Awesome. Yeah, I just emails in there if you guys have questions or you have questions for somebody else, or you relay what you learned today and somebody wants to know more, please let me know and I'd be glad to help.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Thanks everybody for joining us today.
Bye.
Hope
Have a
to
good
see you again
evening.
soon.